The courthouse steps were slick with rain, but Jermaine Parker didn't flinch. 17, lanky, with storm-dark eyes and the stillness of someone who'd seen too much, he stood beneath the looming archway of the municipal building like a statue carved from defiance. Clutched in his damp backpack was a flash drive that could bring a city to its knees. He glanced up at the stone columns, then toward the third-floor window, where the man who had tried to ruin his life still sat in judgment, Judge Harold Abernathy, a name that carried fear like a gavel crack through the streets of Eastwood. Abernathy had ruled this district court for 2 decades, hiding his hatred behind robes and rhetoric. His courtroom was a crucible where black boys were branded criminals before their names were even spoken. Jermaine had watched it happen to his brother Marcus, 15, charged as an adult, 10 years for a stolen phone. No jury. Just Abernathy. Cold. Final. Efficient. That day, Jermaine had learned silence was survival. But survival wasn't justice. The truth began in whispers, papers left unattended in chambers, recordings misfiled, a careless moment here, a boastful one there. Jermaine, quiet and watchful, had spent his weekends cleaning the courthouse as part of his probation. He kept his head down, but his phone on. When he overheard Abernathy laughing with D.A. Clifton about how they couldn't have these animals thinking they could rise, something cracked inside him. He recorded it. And that was only the beginning. He hadn't told anyone except Maya, his childhood friend and the only person who knew what he was planning. Maya, fierce and brilliant, had been accepted to Yale on a full scholarship but deferred it to stay in Eastwood, said she couldn't leave while kids like Jermaine were still getting chewed up by a crooked system. Together, they combed through court records, digital files, transcripts, some altered, others destroyed. Maya hacked into county archives while Jermaine worked the ground, gathering affidavits, testimonies, and stories. The pattern was undeniable. Abernathy wasn't just biased, he was orchestrating a system of suppression, in league with Clifton and a network of judges across the state. But now, everything was on the line. Jermaine had received a subpoena that morning. He was being dragged into court under false pretenses. Witness tampering, they claimed. Maya told him not to go, warned him Abernathy was trying to erase him like he'd done to so many others. But Jermaine wasn't backing down. If I disappear, he'd told her, release everything. No redactions. He stepped inside the courthouse. The air was heavy with silence, the kind that came before a storm. The hearing room was near empty. No media. No public. Just Judge Abernathy seated high, his robe a shroud, and a federal agent in a gray suit at the back, watching. Jermaine walked in with his hands in